What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. All right, so I got tired of a lot of people complaining about the sound quality of my videos when I'm recording using my computer. So I went ahead and got a Blue Snow microphone. All right, one of the best microphones that you can use for recording. All right, and you'll still notice my voice is deep. All right, like I said before, um, my voice just registers deep. So I hope that it sounds better. But if it still sounds about the same, it's just my fucking voice. All right. So, look, we got this 10-part docu-series going on. Another episode comes on tonight. All right. 2-part episode, I believe. I think the first one's going to focus on Dennis Rodman. All right. But these docu-series, for some reason, trigger LeBron fans. Now, it's funny. These same individuals, right, will call us haters because we get tired of the media talking about LeBron every single freaking day, right? Every single freaking day. They talk about LeBron. Yet they can't handle 2 hours once a week devoted to someone other than LeBron James. Well, that's too much for them. They can't deal with that. So, because they don't feel confident enough in concentrating on promoting LeBron's resume and accomplishments in and themselves, they feel the need to tear down Michael Jordan's accomplishments. Okay? Now, I understand if you want to talk about Michael Jordan, the person, his personality, he's an a-hole, and he's all of these different things. If you notice, I'm trying to refrain from cursing. YouTube is getting even more strict with language. So even I have to kind of refrain from swearing now. All right, but it's not going to stop me from making my point because I know how to curse without actually cursing. If you guys ever watched that movie Johnny Dangerously with Maroney, so you know what I'm saying. If you think that Jordan is all these bad things, all right, that's fine. You know what I'm saying. You think he's you know a raccoon, that's fine. But when you start making up stuff, when you start blatantly lying and making up stuff, now it's like it's sad. It's really sad that you have to resort to that level. You have to resort to making up lies, Roy Cohn style, because there's nothing there. Like you guys are on his payroll or something. You know, it's sad. But to go after the man's defense as overrated, come on, man. His defense, that's like, look, even though I do believe that Bill Russell is overrated to a large extent, one thing I won't really go after with him is his defensive ability. Okay. For his time, he was a revolutionary defensive player. All right. And you're not going to sit up there and have me say that I think defensively he was overrated. Okay. But Michael Jordan, first of all, he was first team all defense 9 times. Okay. He was first team all defense, 9 different times. I think that's tied the most all time with Kobe Bryant, and I believe Kevin Garnett. I think Pippen was 8 times. Now, if Michael Jordan never retired, that number would have been more like 12, maybe 13, because he would have been first team all defense in 94, as well as 95, and most likely in 99. Now, after that, I don't know whether with him diminishing as a player, he still would have been first team. But he was still a hell of a defender with the Wizards. But to say his defense is overrated is absurd. Because when most people think about Michael Jordan, they think about the offensive exploits. They think about the scoring. They think about his drives to the basket, his circus shots, the fadeaway. So they think about all of the offensive arsenal. They think about scoring. But it's when you have to remind people that on the other end of the floor, he was just as dominant. There were a time when Michael Jordan was not only the best offensive player in the league, he was the best defensive player in the league, or at least the most dangerous defensive player in the league because of what he could do. See, you can make an argument that maybe the best defensive player at stretches were Akeem Olajuwon, David Robinson, Dennis Rodman. But when Akeem Olajuwon and David Robinson block a shot, right? When they block a shot, there's no guarantee that the team may not get the ball back. You know what I'm saying? The team had the possession. Same thing with Dennis Rodman. When Mike got a steal, the possession switches hands. Mike is in the fast court. He's in the open court, fast break situation. That's a terribly dangerous situation if you're first the opposing team, the coach, you had the ball. Then all of a sudden, when Mike gets the steal, fast break situation, he gives you a demoralized dunk. Not only did the possession change and you gave up 2 points, but those are momentum shifting type plays. All right. When Mike was at his best, he was a tremendous on-ball defender. He was a tremendous help defender. And he was great at getting steals not only in the passing lane, but he was also, with his quick hands, great at stripping guys who were even great ball handlers. He could strip guys, especially before the retirement. He could strip you of the ball. He was. It got to the point during the championship years where opposing teams didn't even like to have the ball over on the side of the court where Mike was at. Okay, where Mike and Scotty were at, the opposing coaches tried their best to keep the basketball away from that side of the court, because Jordan had the quickness to not only guard his man, okay, but to roam and come from the weak side, strip you, block you, and still have even if he, for the most part, he was able to recover if the ball went back to the guy he was guarding and still defend him adequately. He had he was extraordinarily quick. His lateral quickness was ridiculous. He was a freak of nature. Okay? So to sit there and say this guy was, overrated defensively, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Because tell me somebody, give me a guard right now that's playing the NBA that's half the defender. I'm talking about a star. That's half the defender Michael Jordan was in his prime. And I'll shut up. Michael Jordan regularly shut down opposing shooting guards during his reign in the NBA. From the time he started in 1984, throughout his Bulls career, and into his Wizards career. Now, he wasn't the same guy with the Washington Wizards, but he held his own as a 38, 39, 40-year-old against prime NBA talent. Now, I didn't want to do this, okay? But the guy last night pissed me off so much that I'm going to have to put the ether down, okay? Now, right now, in the NBA, tell me how many really good star quality shooting guards are there right now in the NBA, okay? This is for the people who say that Michael played or were guarded by pot-bellied cab drivers, okay? It pissed me off so much, I'm going to have to just destroy that stupid-ass talking point right here. Right now, how many good shooting guards are there? Okay, you might have Paul George, even though he's really playing out of position. Paul George, James Harden, C.J. McCollum, uh, maybe Devin Booker, right? As far as shooting guards. Now, about four guys, right, that are shooting guards. And the rest of them might be point guards who at times might play out of position, but for the most part, they're point guards, okay? Luka is considered a point guard, right? Trae Young is considered a point guard. They're not really shooting guards, okay? Now, this is a list of guys that Michael Jordan played against throughout his career as a Bulls or a Wizard, okay? At the shooting guard position. Not being strictly shooting guard, because I could expand this and put small forwards, but I feel like I was cheating. So, you have Danny Ainge, Rodney McCray, Michael Cooper, Otis Birdsong, Jeff Malone, Walter Davis, Alvin Robertson, Ron Harper, Rolando Blackman, World Be Free, Dr. Duncanstein, Darrell Griffith, Andrew Toney, Jimmy Jackson, Steve Smith, George Gervin, Reggie Lewis, Nick Anderson, Sidney Moncrief, Latrell Sprewell, Mitch Richmond, Jeff Hornacek, Rex Chapman, Reggie Theus, Byron Scott, Allen Houston, J.R. Ryder, Dan Marley, John Stocks, Clyde Drexler, Joe Dumars, Reggie Miller, Sidney Moncrief, Chris Mullin, Drazen Petrovic, Jerry Stackhouse. And toward the end of his Bulls tenure, you had young Kobe Bryant, Ray Allen, Eddie Jones. Okay? And I'm missing some. I know I'm missing some. Now, even in his Wizards years, right, when he was playing primarily small forward, but he was still sometimes guard the opposing shooting guard because he was considered the best defender on that team at that position, whether it was shooting guard or small forward. Even as this old ass man, he was guarding guys like Kobe Bryant in their primes, Vince Carter in their primes, Manu Ginobili in their primes, Tracy McGrady when he was that 30-point per game scorer with Orlando Magic, Allen Iverson in his best years, and improved Ray Allen. Okay? And Paul Pierce was another one that he would guard. Get out of my fucking face with your stupid bullshit. Well, I cursed in them. Well, it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Get out of my fucking face with your stupid bleed sheet. You fart in the ice hole. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, when you guys sit there and say that this guy played against nobodies, man, y'all don't know the NBA back then. You know what I'm saying? The NBA was stacked in the 1980s into the 1990s. Okay? Now, I will say, as the 1990s progressed, the late 90s, the league did start becoming more watered down. A lot of those great guys at those positions, a lot of those that great talent started to diminish, and the league became a little bit less talented. But it started to become replenished by the early 2000s because the guys I just named with the Wizards years. And then two other guys that just popped in my mind, Ricky Pierce, Eddie Johnson, okay? Guys that Michael Jordan had to guard, these bums, okay? Eddie Johnson scored, I think, almost 20,000 career points in his career. Oh, but he's a bum, though. Y'all know what the fuck y'all talking about. You don't know NBA basketball. You don't know shit about basketball. And like I keep saying to people, you need to do some research. You need to know what you're talking about, okay? And yeah, I may not have seen Bob Cousy play, okay? But for his time, he was a remarkable player. And I'm going to tell you something else, too. For people to say these guys only dribble with one hand, you got to understand, too, back in the 50s and into the 60s, ball handling, the referees did not allow, and the NBA did not allow guys to do things they are able to do today. The stuff that people do today, they would call palming every possession. They would call palming every time. If you would notice, guys like Bob Cousy, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson, whenever they were dribbling, they always kept their hand on top of the basketball, on top of the dribble. Okay? And one of the reasons why you didn't see switch crossover to the other hand is because they were called carrying and palming all the time. Okay? That's why guys usually dribble with one hand. The NBA did not start laxing on this until the 1970s, as I've said before in my videos, because the NBA wanted to start competing with the ABA, because the ABA, they were losing players to the ABA, and the ABA was flashier. Okay? So for the guys to be able to do the things that they were capable of doing, and the imagination, all right, and imaginatory things that these guys are doing with the basketball, the NBA had to start laxing rules when it came to ball handling. So that's why you start seeing guys like Earl the Pearl Monroe and Pete Maravich be able to do the wonderful things that they're able to do with the basketball because the NBA started laxing carrying and palming rules. But that's why in the 50s and 60s, the guys dribbled the way they did. Now, I'm not saying that they would be doing the things they're doing today because this shit wasn't thought of back then. Okay? But if they had relaxed the rules, you would see guys do basic, maybe crossover moves back then. Okay? But you guys gotta look. I'm not sitting there and trying to talk on my high horse, man. Look, there were times I used to say the same shit in high school. Like, these guys can't dribble. But you know what I had to do? I'm a curious person. I like to read and research shit. Okay? And I like to find out why something is being done, rather than insert my ignorant opinion in something without me knowing what I'm talking about, which is what a lot of young people do. I'm sorry, but a lot of young people insert their opinion in shit without knowing the facts. Not even young people. A lot of people do that. So that's pretty much it. And if I offended you, I could care less.